Welcome to Education Quest's live stream, Countdown to College, your college visit playbook. Now, this is a pre-recorded session as we unfortunately had to cancel our live segment a couple nights ago for some weather-related power outages. But regardless, thank you for watching. My name is Gage Boardman, and today I am joined by Lindsay, an admissions representative from Southeast Community College. Hi, Lindsay. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Now that spring is here, it's the perfect time to visit some college campuses. We'll break it all down to help you get the most out of your campus visits and find your perfect fit. So, just to start, Lindsay, can you just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you do as an admissions rep?
Sure. So, like Gage said, my name is Lindsay. I'm an admissions representative at Southeast Community College here in Beatrice, Nebraska. I've lived in the area for about 4 years, and I have to say, I'm from Colorado Springs originally. It's kind of a culture shock coming to such a small town, but I really love it. It's a really great place to be, and the campus in general is just very welcoming. And so, yeah, I'm really happy to be here. And admissions is kind of chaotic and crazy, but I love my job because I get to talk to students about their future goals and just kind of help them along that path. So,
Great, thank you. So, let's just dive in. Lindsay, what options are generally available for prospective students to experience campus life during their visits?
sure. So every college that I know of does have like an individual visit that you can kind of reserve. Generally, it's on their website where they have dates available, and you can just enter in some very basic information, things that you're interested in, and then pick a date that works for you. Other options are group visits, where it's just kind of a lot of people all at once. If you're someone who doesn't really like to be the center of attention, maybe those are better for you because you can kind of piggyback off of some other people and then also hear their questions and things like that. I know at Southeast, and I know some other colleges do this as well, but we have a Discovery Day, which is kind of a more formalized group visit where we invite instructors and students in, and you can ask them questions. We tour campus, we feed you, which is kind of a fun addition to those days. And then we really focus it in. Other colleges have like more focused days where you get to come in and discover their programs specifically. So for us, we've got like healthcare day, agriculture day, and I know there's other colleges that kind of do themed days like that too. So if you want to kind of test drive a specific industry or for a specific subject, those are really great days too to kind of figure out, do I really like this, or maybe you really don't like it, which is equally as important. So.
Yeah, I remember I had a variety of both individual and group tours. And I remember it was just nice to have a little bit of perspective of both. So I could kind of blend into the back for the group tours and kind of get that hands-on experience
Yeah,
with
sometimes people put things into different perspectives too, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, I didn't even think about that.
yeah, exactly. And so how can students arrange meetings with the faculty or academic advisors during their visit? I know you just kind of touched on that just a little bit.
Yeah, on those individual tours, I know we are very mindful that the instructors know their programs better than we do. We know the college in general, but they're living it every day. So I know here at Southeast, we are very mindful of connecting every single student we possibly can with a faculty member. I think this is more and more popular. I think a majority of the schools follow this kind of design, making sure that faculty are brought in, talking to you about the program while you're on campus and visiting. A lot of the times, too, they have their contact information on the school's website. So reaching out to them beforehand saying, hey, I'm visiting the school. I would really love to meet with you. Are you part of the tour? If not, are you able to meet with me for 5-10 minutes that day? Most often, faculty love meeting prospective students. I mean, if you're interested in coming into their program, they're going to be excited for that. So.
Yeah, I do remember, I think probably the most impactful part of a lot of my visits, I graduated just a couple years ago, um, was definitely meeting with the faculty. I mean, I love seeing the library and where you can get your food and stuff, but meeting hands-on with the actual program I was interested in helped me a lot, I think.
Yeah, and they can dig into the career options a little bit more too, so you know what it's going to look like after you're done with the college.
Yeah. And are there also opportunities for prospective students to engage with like current students during their visits? What kind of questions should they be asking?
Sure. So our tours are run by students. We have our student ambassadors. Every college kind of has their own group of students who are leading the tours. Um, Again, we know that we've been maybe out of it for a little bit, so we don't connect with students the same way that a current student is going to. Plus, they live here, so we bring in that perspective. So our students walk around campus with them, and then they end with someone like me who talks more about their application and the process through admissions. Um, I think it really just depends on what the student is looking for, what kind of questions to bring in. I think some really important ones are, do you feel included on campus? That's a huge thing, understanding that campus culture, knowing what kind of activities you can get involved in or clubs or organizations are available to make sure that you can find like-minded people. And also kind of reaching out, what's around the town? Is there even stuff for me to do in the town, or is it more quiet? Do I like that? I don't know. And so just kind of really thinking about what you're wanting in your normal day-to-day life and kind of picking the brains of the students while you're here to see if your campus that you're visiting has those options.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And for any students who are maybe out of state, are there any resources available for them planning their visits?
Yeah, so we have virtual tours. I mean, COVID will go back to that. It really taught us that there's other ways to kind of do what we do every day. So we have virtual tours. I know other colleges tend to have those virtual tours online as well. A lot of the times, if you just email admissions, we can do a virtual tour with you. So we're on the website, we're sharing our screens, we're walking you through the spaces and still talking about things that you would see if you were here in person. Um, I think just the biggest thing is reaching out and starting that conversation. We love to hear from prospective students no matter where they are. And if you are coming in from out of state, the best way to kind of know like accommodations or where to go while you're here, while you're waiting for your meeting. I know our city has a really great website, so you can jump on and kind of use that resource as well when you're about to visit. But yeah, just communicating with as many people as you can is the best way to kind of prepare for that.
Yeah, the virtual personal tour is kind of really interesting. I had no idea that, I mean, I graduated back in 2020 from high school, and so we had some options, but not all the options. So kind of hearing how the technology is growing is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and we're not phasing it out. We're just trying to figure out, okay, how can we best utilize this now that we have it? So obviously we want to see you in person. We want your feet on campus because you're going to get the best experience, but we understand that that's not always possible. So we'll meet you where you're at.
That's great.
Mhm.
And for students with disabilities, how does the admissions office accommodate those students during campus visits?
And I can really only speak from our college as I haven't really been through the process, but I know with our form, when you reserve your tour spot, we have a notes and accommodations section where you can write out anything you need. We've had students come in who are on crutches for whatever reason, and we have to get a golf cart or a van or something to kind of take them around campus. If we really need to, we've got an accommodations department where we can be like, hey, the student needs this. What can we do? Again, any college really wants to meet you where you're at. So communicating, telling us what you need, that's going to be the biggest thing. I think the biggest difference in transferring from high school to college is you're really going to have to advocate for yourself. And it starts with that visit with those questions and making sure you're getting what you need on the tour. So if there's something special that we need to kind of configure before you get here, tell us and we will do everything in our power to figure it out.
Yeah, that's a pretty common theme across all of our live streams, really is once you get to college, just don't be afraid to ask for help because everyone there wants to support you, basically. They're all here for you.
Yeah, we're not big and scary. We want to see you in our offices. So come and say hi, even.
And I know we touched on this topic just a little bit ago. So are there specific times or events you kind of talked about your discovery day that you would recommend for prospective students? Is there like a certain time of year that you think is best? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the discovery kind of maybe group tours are better, maybe junior, sophomore year when you're still just trying to figure things out. Going on those more generic tours. If you're still not sure about career, those career days are really great because if you can go on multiple, then you can really narrow down what you like to do. Um, I was actually just talking about this with a colleague earlier. Senior year is really your time to drill down. So by that time, having a list of colleges that you're like, okay, these are the three top places that I'm choosing between and getting your feet on campus. Sometimes the website makes you feel like that's the place for you, but then you really get on campus, you're like, oh wait, this is not quite what it looked like or what I imagined it would be when I was looking at the website. So senior year is really that time to really focus in and go to your top schools individually so you can focus on the admissions process. So earlier in your high school, doing the more exploring career, diving into the different career options, and then senior year, really focusing in doing those individual tours.
Yeah, that's great. I know it's an old saying, but don't judge a book by its cover, and it kind of goes both ways, when you see a website versus when you can actually experience the campus on the ground.
Yes.
And so, what should students prepare or bring with them to make the most of their campus visit?
Again, that really depends on where they are in the process and what they're wanting out of the tour. We tell students when they're here, let's get it all done. So if you need to apply and you want to do that, let's do it. If you need to talk to housing, let's do that too. So if that's kind of your goal is just to get things crossed off your list, bring your test scores, bring your mom with the checkbook if they're paying your deposit that day. Bring in your transfer IDs or ideas. If you're going on to a four-year school, we're a community college, so we do a lot of transferring. So bring the list of maybe dual credit classes you took so we can see how those transfer in and how classes are going to transfer out. Some students, though, maybe aren't quite ready for that, and that's totally okay. We've done so many visits. We are really good at just telling you everything that you need to know. So if you don't come with anything, that's totally fine too. We're going to give you a lot of information. We're going to give you a lot of things to process through, and we're going to give you an email or a phone number where when you do have those questions or you do need to start sending in those forms, you'll be ready. So if you don't come with questions, it's not an interview. Don't worry, we're not going to deny you because you didn't ask questions. We'll meet you again where you're at. So whatever you feel like you need to bring, it's on you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. I remember back being a nervous high schooler, getting anxious for my first campus visit. But really, again, like we said earlier, like everyone's there just to support you and meet you where you're at. So, and I know you also mentioned this earlier again. You said that, the students kind of have their tour on the ground and they get taken to you. So is there a process for scheduling like one-on-one meetings with admissions counselors during their visits?
Yeah, so this is what I'm learning is a different term from college to college. So I'm an admissions representative at Southeast, and we also have admissions counselors. There are some schools, I don't know if it's the smaller schools that kind of use the same terminology for my job, which is more recruiting, and the counseling job, which is more digging into things. So anywhere you go, someone in admissions can point you in the right direction. I know in our website, we have a specific page where you can schedule either a Zoom, a phone, or an in-person meeting with a specific counselor. And how we kind of differentiate is I'm more surface level. I'm the recruiter just giving you information about the programs. And the counselor can really dig in and be like, oh, you're interested in nursing. Well, have you thought about this program? Well, what about if you go onto your RN? Well, have you thought about moving on after you're done with this? Or where do you want to work? So the counselors are more digging in a little bit more fully into that. So there's always information online. I mean, that's going to be the best resource. I feel kind of like a broken record there, but it really is online. Find the phone numbers, find the emails. Some schools like us will have just a virtual scheduling link that you can use that makes it really easy. But just send the email if you can't find it, say, hey, how do I connect with somebody? And you're going to have someone respond to you back and tell you.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
And I know, dorms, food, those are like hot topics usually on a lot of campus visits. So, how can students usually or generally explore housing and dining facilities during their visit? Is that part of the tour? Is that something you can ask for?
Yeah, we are highly aware, anybody in a college setting, that the residence halls or dorms are kind of the top thing that students want to see. And it's the top things that students compare between campuses too. So it's kind of fun when we're going through, since I haven't really been on other college campuses, to kind of hear them talking about it. But we were really excited this year. We are now offering free lunch during our individual visits. And I know a lot of colleges are kind of going to that as well. So we're really proud proud of our food. It's really delicious. So we want students to experience that. And then they go in at the normal time that other college students are there. So they really get the full experience. So seeing the living options is a default for every single tour. They don't have to ask for it. Um, they have to ask us not to show it if they're not planning on living there. So, and then yes, we do give that option for them to eat on campus as well.
Yeah, I remember free food was always my favorite part of most of my campus tours. And I know you said that admissions counselors are the ones that dive in a little bit deeper. So, are there opportunities to learn about like financial aid and scholarship opportunities during the campus visits?
Yes. So most colleges have two different kind of financial sectors. So you have your financial aid office, but then you have your student accounts office as well. Student accounts probably talk to more when you're actually here and having to pay your bills, but the financial aid office lets you know everything that's available to you. And I'm sure you guys go into that way more in your other streams. But while you're on campus, it's kind of tricky if we don't have your information, if your FAFSA hasn't been sent to us yet, or you haven't sent over scholarships to us, we won't really have a whole lot to tell you. But the financial aid office can give you generalized information like, here's what you need to be mindful of, here's how you send things to us, here's maybe some tips and tricks about filling out the FAFSA or things like that. So you can still have a conversation with financial aid. We don't add it in as defaults just because some people don't know what to ask and don't really want to dig into that quite yet. But I know with our visits, if they ask, we will definitely make that happen. If not, we'll leave you with a phone number so that you can contact somebody. Um, and if we do have your FAFSA, or if we do have information like that, then even more so, we will definitely connect you so you can kind of dig in and see the full picture. Because I know that is a huge topic for students is just what is this going to cost me in the end and what's available to me.
Mhm.
So yes, we will definitely connect you.
Yeah, step one, fill out your FAFSA.
Yes.
Get it done. All right, Lindsay, final question. What is just kind of your final advice to students going on campus visits, trying to find that perfect fit for them? What should they be looking for? What should they keep in mind? And how should they like reflect on their experience after?
Yeah, great question. So again, it just kind of is up to the student and what they're really wanting out of this experience. Um, my first piece of advice is to go on a campus visit. I have so many students that come in and they say this is the only school they've been to. And I'm like, why? Go to other schools, compare a couple. Even if you really have no interest, if it's close to you, go see what it's like so that you can compare. Um, Really, our biggest advice to students, I'm really lucky in my job. If our school isn't a good fit for you, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you. Um, we really tell students if it doesn't feel like home, then maybe it's not the right college campus for you. So you're really looking for a place that feels comfortable. Obviously, it's not going to feel 100% like home because you haven't lived there yet. But if it feels comfortable, if you like the people that you're talking with, if the students seem really open and welcoming, then that might be the college that's right for you. So sometimes it's just a feeling. Trust your gut. That's kind of my biggest piece of advice.
Great. That's all my questions. Thank you, Lindsay, for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Viewers, if you have any questions about campus visits or anything college related, you can reach out to any of our offices for free help. You can find that contact information at educationquest.org. Also, follow Education Quest on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things FAFSA and college planning. And you can also sign up for Countdown to College to get a short weekly email to keep you in the know. You can find the registration for that at the bottom of our homepage, again, educationquest.org. We'll see you next month on Wednesday, April 16th at 7 p.m. for our next live stream from stunting to studying the life of a college cheerleader. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.